Good morning, everyone. Give me 1 second. I just got to go live on Instagram too. I am solo today. What does Jim always say? Rise and energize. All right, go live on Instagram. Hello, everybody. So I am solo. Good morning. Jim was up all night with tornado warning. So I'm in Michigan. We had like severe thunderstorms, but not tornado warning. So Jim can sleep in today. Yay. But good morning. So if you are watching from any of Jim Morris's platforms, hi, I'm producer Rachel. I don't know if we've ever like actually formally met. But I have a background in TV, radio, and podcasting, and essentially like video marketing. I started at The View with Barbara Walters, then worked for Barbara Walters Specials, Walt Disney Feature Animation, Home Shopping Network, and iHeartMedia. And then Jim and I met recently through a friend. He told me all about Impact Effect Community, which he is growing. And this will eventually just be on that platform. And so together, we are growing a community. And the goal is to go live every day like this. And but inside of our Impact Effect community app. So if you do want to join, here's the ticker that Jim always puts up. So that's the quick like, hey, this is who I am, FYI. This is why I'm on his channels. If this is the first time you're catching this. So Jim and I go live every morning, Monday through Friday, to sort of talk about energy drains and energy gains. And the other thing I like to think about, because I do this every morning and I want to talk to you guys about it, and we haven't really touched upon it that much, is asking yourself, like, what do I know to be true today? I am the type of person that has a tendency to just go, right? I don't ground myself in the morning. I don't journal. I won't meditate. I sort of just get up and start spiraling unless I specifically bring myself to center and take a breath, right? I don't breathe. If you noticed when I even started this, uh, right? If you notice yourself doing that, like stop and take a few deep breaths. It's not healthy for you to not breathe. You need to like fill the lungs. And for some reason, for the longest time, that was the hardest thing for me to do, because I think I lived in fight or flight for a very long time. And so I've come to learn how to deal with those emotions instead of running from them. And yesterday's activity, I don't know if anybody of you saw yesterday, but your challenge was to sort of recognize your emotions when they come up. And one of the things that I do every morning is ask myself, what do I know to be true? And that can be a number of things. How am I feeling right now? Well, I stayed up way too late working on elements for our launch day live, which is next Tuesday, the 8th. We're officially launching the Impact Effect community. And I didn't drink enough water. What else do I know to be true? I didn't go for a walk. Like I didn't get real fresh air. I went out for drives, but to like pick my kids up and drop them off and stuff. So I wasn't present enough yesterday. That's what I know to be true. So I want to be present and in the moment today. For my podcast at the Producer Rachel Show, I did an interview yesterday with Jessica Serrato. She's a numerologist. And numerology is basically, what's the most easiest way to explain it? Giving power and energy to numbers and assigning meaning to them to help describe your personality, what's going on in your life, and possibly your future. They use birth dates and then also like numbers that come up for you over and over again. What would be the meaning for that? That's the most basic way I can explain it if you've never heard of numerology. To me, it's like a language. Like astrology and numerology are like two other languages I just don't understand yet, but I feel compelled to learn more about them. It's on the bucket list. But Jess Serrato, she's also intuitive, but it was just amazing because she reframed a lot of things for me. And I think a lot of times when you ask yourself, what do I know to be true? It reframes things in your life. And I'll give you one of the examples that she gave me that like completely blew my mind. But you can also say, like, what do I know to be true? I have to get this done, right? X, Y, Z. I know there's an email I have to return to sign my daughter up for something. I know that there's elements for live day that I have to finish today. And the third thing that I know to be true, that I have to do, honestly. I'd love to get some dishes done. It's just one of those things where it's like the chore for the kids, and then I also have, like, the mental load of having to tell them to do the chores, and so I've just been so busy. And so today I just wanna, like, carve out some time, listen to a podcast or some music, and just do some dishes. If anybody else works from home, uh, I know that there's that weird separation of work and being home, and I think that is also something I know to be true, right? Is that I have that issue of, "Oh, well, let me just get this load of laundry in. Oh, let me just go to this do this one thing real quick." And I think that hinders, my work time, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's what I know to be true is that sometimes I just feel stressed, being in the house because I feel like I'm supposed to also do things that the home needs. And I really am working hard to differentiate that. If you guys have any ideas, like please put them in the comments, put it in the chat. One idea we've talked about before in with my friends basically is to go in a different door. Like you literally go out in the morning and go in a different door. Um, Brian Gelke was the one who suggested that. We've talked about Brian Gelke before on here. I'm actually gonna be on his podcast live today around 1 o'clock Eastern. Him and Ed Parco, so look out for that. I'm talking about impact effect on that podcast and a couple of other things, but, so in the morning, go out one door and go back in another door as if you're leaving for work. I will usually I have an apron I'll put on if I know it's, like, time to just be home. And that will indicate I'm not working to my family, like, literally. I do have an apron, like a cooking apron. I love it. So, what do you know to be true today? Take that deep breath if you feel yourself spiraling, right? You're just going right into the day, whether it's in the car, whether you're brushing your teeth, in the shower, like, wherever you can take a few moments and just ask yourself, "What do I know to be true?" Or, "I know I have to do what?" Like, what has to get done? And then also, what didn't you do yesterday? Like, here's my water, right? I haven't been drinking enough water. I think you're supposed to probably drink 2 of these. I don't even drink 1 fully. So what do I know to be true? I'm not drinking enough water. And you can feel that in your body, right? Um, your body will speak to you. And if you haven't been asking, start asking. Um, there is something that Mel Robbins talked about, and I can't remember the girl that she interviewed, but it was, um, as if you're going through something and you don't really know what to do, and it's an energy drain, right? You're just like, "Hey, all I'm doing is thinking about these things that I have to do that need to get done." And she said, "Press the easy button. Just ask yourself, "Okay, how can I make this easy?" And then just simply, if you're asking in alignment and in the right energy, listen to what your body tells you. Um, that's been the most fascinating thing on this journey of life at age 49 is, learning to listen to my own intuition, listening to my own gut, listening to, like, the good voice. I've told the kids, "There's a bad wolf on one shoulder, there's a good wolf on the other. Like, which wolf are you gonna feed today?" And I always suggest feeding the good wolf. So it's the same thing, just listen to the good voice. Whether you wanna say that's your subconscious or maybe it's God talking to you or the universe or your angels or your guides, whatever you refer to it as, if it feels good and it gives you joy and it makes you happy, don't be scared to ask yourself the question. It's also an energy gain to me because a lot of times when I'm not grounded and I'm not centering myself, that's such a drain. It's such a drain when everything is spiraling and you're looking at the calendar thinking, like, when will I have a minute to myself beyond like the shower and the toilet? Um, I get it. I get it. It's such a drain. So, number 1 today, I think that you should really sit and just breathe for 30 seconds. It doesn't take a lot to stop that spiral. So just breathe and then ask yourself, "Okay, what do I know to be true? What do I know to be true?" And again, that can relate to a ton of different things in your life. So just sort of be prepared for what might come back at you, regarding what you know to be true. And it can be a real energy gain when you're asking those questions, mainly because you're getting answers, right? When you're spiraling and you're not able to think or put those thoughts together because you feel so overwhelmed, right? That feeling on your chest, that pressure, that anxiety, that stress, um, it's not good for you. So, yesterday's challenge was to acknowledge those feelings and then use some of the tools that we gave you as an example. If you guys have more tools to use or like things that you do to sort of get you out of that zone, maybe you dance, maybe you listen to music, maybe you listen to a podcast, maybe you do breathing exercises, like put it in the chat, put it in the comments. I'd love to know what everybody does to sort of stop the mental spiral and, um, stop allowing that to drain their energy for the rest of the day, right? We only have the capacity for so many things, um, and so I one of my friends, Shannon Winchester, she's an EFT tapper. That's another tool that you guys can use is tapping, where you tap and say things to yourself, so not you don't tap your cheek. I went to the cheek. That's so funny. Shannon, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Um But anyway, you sort of go through different tapping exercises to kinda get yourself out of your head because when we're focusing on the tapping, um, you're able to think clearly. So and there's tons of EFT tappers out there. Shannon Winchester's amazing. Look her up if you want to. But she basically said, "Do the stair step," right? What are the 3 things that you can do today? So the same thing. What do I know to be true? What are the things that have to get done? A lot of times when we overpack our schedules, especially if you have ADHD, when you're on that high, that ADHD high, you have a tendency to say yes to everything, not thinking about your ADHD low future self who is like, "What did you say yes to? Why are we doing all these things?" Um, and that in the past is when I would start, like, canceling everything because it's just like I didn't want to do all the things. And so what I've learned to do is sort of balance that a little bit better, right? Like, you don't have to say yes to everything. And also, like, explaining to some people, like, I may change my mind. Just FYI, it's just the way that I am, on that day. If I'm just not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And I don't force myself to do anything that I'm not, I guess, in alignment with. Um I did start forcing myself to go to events and to meet people, and that has honestly been life-changing. If you're an introvert and you just don't like leaving your house or you just don't wanna go meet people, I understand that. I understand that feeling and that fear. Think about the why in that a little bit, but also, like, okay, and do it scared. You never know who you're gonna meet. Jim talked the other day on Tuesday in our momentum hour about ways to frame conversations and, like, networking meetings, but I think that you can use all that framework anywhere you go. The goal and Jim's whole goal, which I love, is making human connections, real human connections. So don't be scared of that either. So number 1, connect with yourself today. What do I know to be true? And then number 2, who can you connect with on a human level? Um, and more than just, "Hey, how are you today? Hey, how's your day?" Right? Maybe there's somebody that you wanna connect with a little bit deeper, and maybe they need somebody to talk to. Maybe you could be that person. Um, but don't take on their energy if that's just a huge drain. Just listen. I know for me, a lot of times I am the problem solver, and so I have to ask now, like, "Hey, do you want me just to listen to you, or do you want me to help solve this problem?" Because I would get mad when people wouldn't let me help them solve the problem. And that's an energy drain for both of us, right? Like, the person just needed somebody to talk to, and I'm like, "Let me solve this for you." That's a huge energy drain. So today, be aware of your emotions, use the tools that you have, ask yourself, "What do I know to be true?" And so I'm gonna leave you with what Jess Serrato, the numerologist, during our interview, what she said to me that actually, like, made a huge shift for me and made me cry during this interview. So she got the visualization of me carrying boulders, right? Like, let's like the pillow, right? I'm carrying boulders. That's how I feel every day, like I'm carrying these heavy boulders. And she said, "But now imagine that the boulder is just the next step. Like you're literally just building the next step. The boulder isn't meant to be carried all the time. It's not a burden. It's the next step for the next thing that you're doing." Um, and for whatever reason, maybe, like, just saying it doesn't shift anything for you, but it did for me because I literally just felt that heavy feeling around my chest and on my shoulders. I felt like I was carrying a heavy boulder. And when she basically said, "It's not meant to be carried every day. It is a stepping stone to the next thing. Like, put the boulder down and let's get to the next step." And so that's what I really feel like Impact Effect Community can do for you guys. Here's the website, impacteffectcommunity.com. We sort of bridge that gap between the wanting to do and the and embodying that person that you are becoming. Um, we help you not only carry that load, but also show you put it down, take the next step, and we can help you with that next step. Our whole goal is to meet you where you are in your business and in your life. So if you feel like you don't have anybody to turn to, if you feel like you don't have anybody to make a human connection with today with that challenge, um, reach out to us. We're here to help you guys. We onboard everybody individually, and we are literally building out the community as we go. We're not just sort of like throwing courses in there and say like, "Do the homework, we'll see you in a week or 2." We every day will be showing up live inside the community to do co-working sessions, um, and oh my gosh, ugh, God, we've got a ton of different stuff planned. We'll have speakers as well, but, the goal is to take micro steps together and, build from there, right? Let's take the boulder and put it down and take the next best step, and we may be that next best step for you guys. So take deep breaths, have a beautiful morning, and we will see you tomorrow. Jim hopefully will get some sleep, and more importantly, anybody impacted by the tornadoes and the storms, my thoughts are with you, and I hope everybody's okay. Have an amazing day, everybody.